This is where deforestation turns itself back into reforestation. Mother Nature knows how to take care of herself. I didn't think that this would happen, but the old cottonwood trees are coming back to life. Some people would be tempted to plant those offshoots. I think that a cottonwood tree is not a great thing to be on our property, as they drink up all the water. Right, dogs? It's hot out. It's so hot I broke my own rule. I don't usually wear shorts, but we're wearing shorts, aren't we, pal? Yeah. Shorts with pockets, though, because men carry pocket knives, right? Yeah. Unless you're swimming, I guess. What are we doing here?
Digging.
So not only is our log deck regrowing itself back into a forest, because, you know, some people get worked up about cutting trees down, we're also planting a tree. Where'd the tree come from?
School?
Yeah, I grew it at school, and it's, well, it's a spruce tree. How fitting for the Spruce Stomper YouTube channel. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna have its work cut out for it, because we're basically planting it in concrete. Now, of course, what's highly necessary in any low-budget sawmill operation is a very expensive laser level. So I went to the trouble of getting this all out. It wasn't a lot of trouble. If you're wondering where we've been, I'll throw a photo in here real quick. We've been building stuff. Not camera conducive building stuff, but I roughly set this up. What was that, dear? Like a few nights ago with the tractor, just with a regular old 6-foot level. And you hear that noise? That takes skill. Excuse me, my lady, what did you just ask me?
You have a knife?
Oh, gentlemen, I'll tell you what. If your woman asks you if you have a pocket knife on you, and you go, you should probably be single. Real men carry pocket knives, right, love? You just never know when you're gonna need to impress your lady. What are you doing, hacking a tree open? Probably getting root bound in there, yeah? Oh yeah, it's ready to be free.
Thank you.
Oh, always a pleasure. So, do you need a laser level to set up a sawmill? No, but it's in my nature. And it was in the tool trailer. So, you know, foundation work. Foundation work when it's 36 degrees out. That'll really test your resolve. But anyways, it's set up. There's a couple things I'd like to change. When I did all this, of course, we're kind of just reliant on the springs to hold the level, you know, like from any sort of sag, because you guys all recognize that. The old P Auto. Princess Auto, eh? Where men go to get stuff they need and probably don't need. But I got those scissor jacks. They were on sale. 2 up there, 2 up there. If you haven't watched the video where we made this sawmill trailer, well, come on. But I didn't put anything in the middle, so technically there is some opportunity for movement because of the springs. I think I'm simply probably just gonna wedge a couple blocks between the frame and the springs when it's parked stationary, or do like I did all last season and just not worry about it. We had logs on here that weighed a couple thousand pounds, and it distributes the weight so far across, and it's rigid enough that who cares? I was even gonna buy another couple jacks. They were on at PA for 80 bucks for another set, but you know, 80 bucks is 80 bucks, you know. We gotta probably burn, you know, $5 worth of fuel in this thing, so we gotta watch what we're doing. You doing okay? Rodeo update. Broke his leg. We didn't get any of that on film, eh? He's old, 16. He got run over just a little bit, and that leg, well, it works pretty much as good as it used to, doesn't it, eh? You know what's gonna come now? Rabbits. Never seen a rabbit in this part of the yard ever, but now that you planted this one tree that they don't even really like, they're gonna come for it. That and the lawnmower. Small tree's greatest predator. Husqvarna lawnmower. That laser there is a Stabilo LA 180. I think they call it a layout station. So just a real brief story. You guys might notice that I chit chat once in a while. When we first got rolling along doing construction stuff, one of my bigger opportunities came when my uncle was working on a site, or kind of heard that a builder had backed out of a project for a guy that was actually just in our neighborhood here. And anyways, I don't know all the circumstances around that, but we got in touch and kind of agreed, like, hey, you know, I'll work with you, you know, that way he could save a little money. He supplied all the material, and then I put the shop together and stuff like that. But anyways, that is something I bought straight out of the gate. As soon as we got that job, I thought, man, okay, so it's a big building. I'm gonna be all by myself. How am I gonna do this? And yeah, batter boards and strings and all this kind of stuff, but it needed to be right. I needed to be able to do it fast and solo, so I bought that layout station, never looked back. Basically, it shoots horizontal, vertical, but it also allows you to shoot 90-degree corners. So on well, I shouldn't even say simple build, any building really, you can do it yourself. So that was one of my bigger, at the time it was like $2,800, and now it's probably well north of $3,000, but now I'm using it to level my sawmill. Oh, we forgot somebody. Hey, you, blind dog. Oh, gotta keep an eye on you, hey? Blind, dumb, and deaf. You were always kind of dumb. The other two, though, those are recent developments. Who's your baby girl? Who's this poodle? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Even you're lethargic. So, there are blades of unknown, varying degrees of quality in the shed, but we got new ones. Start fresh. So I got 10 left. Timber Thunder Sawmill, we're running Wood Miser blades because they were on sale, but better to start anew from scratch if we can remember where they go. There were a couple things from last year that I recall a guy wanted to change. One is on my right hand side here, the discharge chute for the sawdust. It's got some grates over it, like some bars. I can see why you'd put them there, but those need to be cut out. All they do is plug. And then the dang thing plugs, and your maintenance, it's not good. Now, these guides, I'm sure there's some special adjustment. If you're looking for tips and tricks on sawmilling, you might be watching the wrong YouTube channel, but what we lack in expertise, we make up in enthusiasm. These guides on this, they can be adjusted. That's actually a little sloppy. But then we're just gonna leave her be for the first project, because we're just gonna slab up some of these cottonwood trees for a project inside the shop. We'll just see how it cuts. I find that anything that's of, like, how do I put this? Mid-range quality. This isn't like a high-end sawmill, and it also didn't come from the dollar store. It's that mid-range equipment likes to run a little bit on the loose side. A little give, a little take, lots of lubrication. Nothing smoking tight, because again, it's not a surgical tool. We're just whacking up some lumber. What are the chances that that's not dead? Somebody in their infinite wisdom and maintenance plan left that battery hooked up and in the mill through the winter months. Let's just have a see here. Come on, well, leave that popped out. It needs some fuel. Check the oil. But first, let's grab a tape measure and we'll have a look at what I am proposing to do here with this gorgeous free material. So I feel like some folks will still be curious as to what we did with the shop after the large project of building and cutting the lumber for the mezzanine, video series on that. all good things come to those who wait. We are been working so tremendously hard on an upcoming project that will be in part related to the channel, but just something quite expansive that we've taken on, and well, not quite ready to share that yet. But what I can share, a little bit of that. Garage sale find? How much do you think I paid for this? Let's have a little gander here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. $5. I think in the United States, that's kind of like probably a mortgage payment, $5. But here, that's a big deal. So, without revealing too much, we got a little bit of junk going on in the corner. Everybody needs a shopping cart, but I have basically a whole stretch of the shop down this side, the full 30 feet that I think needs a workbench. And I want to keep the theme because we got a real nice theme, all the wood, it's all really coming together. I wanted to keep it with maybe a 2-tiered bench, so a bench and then a shelf above the bench, because again, what we're up to in here requires a bit of workspace and you know, a shop, just more benches the merrier. So I'm gonna see how wide we can slab those out. Ideally, you know, we'll slab them as wide as possible to get it consistent. I'm torn on whether we're gonna leave one edge live slab. Thank you to the likes of Lowe's and Home Depot and Pinterest for absolutely destroying the term live edge, epoxy river tables, and all this such. That's just my personal opinion, but leave in the comments, should we leave the edges on or should we square them off? My machinist roots tend to want to square them off. How big is that? I don't know, we went in the shop for a tape measure. Tape measureless. Look at this right here. And how many more things does a man need? Honda, Sawmill, chainsaw. Chainsaw to be decided. Let's have a little peek-see here. Get you guys set up. Been a long time since I even touched a tripod. Man with many interests. I broke a sacred rule of the homestead. In previous videos I mentioned little jugs have mixed gas, big jugs do not. Well, I got another garage sale find, and well, now I have two, but I'm pretty sure that this one has mixed gas, this one has regular gas, and I don't think this little saw is gonna care in its state. So it is the Craftsman 20, what is that? I think that looks like it says 2.0 14 White Lightning. Ooh, White Lightning. How quite a name. Quite a name. Wonder if it packs the same amount of performance. So, came with the bar cover, and just have a look at this for a sec, okay? Just really take a second to appreciate what's going on here. That bar is not supposed to look like that. It's not a custom bar. It's that worn. You can see the folds of metal. So, well, that could be not necessarily a bad thing. That means that it worked at some point. Give her the old sniff test. Well, there's a couple ways to look at that. Is the gas bad? It's got that real specific smell. Those of you know what I'm talking about, you will have immediately imagined that smell. I'd say it's about halfway between that smell and being okay. Try not to spill. This hopefully has a blue hue to it. Does it? Yeah, I'd say it does, yeah. A bunch of it got dumped in the lawnmower through miscommunication, but a little extra lubrication never hurt anybody. Look at how optimistic I am. I'm gonna fill that tank right up. So far, in the last, since I can remember, I have not been burned on a used saw yet. Well, it would appear we have a sparky spark problem because there's fuel. Remind me, is that good or bad to find glitter? It's got a little bit of compression. It's trying, but a beautiful design. Why would you have it so a scrunch fits the spark plug? Because you know what you want to do when you're out in the field somewhere, mucking around with chainsaws, have to have a whole nother set of tools. These little top handle saws I don't know about modern stuff. I've only had a few old decrepit garage sale ones. You gotta take the whole case apart, split this whole case to get at anything. The motor is inside, sandwiched. So even right down to the bloody spark plug, she'll fight you to the bitter end. It's trying. It's trying. Took the spark plug out and dumped her straight in. Well, it would appear that the old White Lightning Sears Craftsman Special did not have any life to give today. Spark, yep. Fuel, yep. Suspiciously low compression and a whole lot of tinsel color decoration in the cylinder. But I thought it'd be funny. I was gonna put it on the quad and drive it back and heave it in the scrap bin. I thought that would make a good shot, but who are we kidding, fellas? I kept it. I'll get to it one day. That's what they say. Anyways, let's hope we have more success with this unit. Good to go. And she just had an oil change before I put it away, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh. Collar good. Oh, get that off of there. And even a little drip of oil, eh? It just collects a lot of sawdust. But actually broke 2 rules today. Wore shorts and left the house in Crocs. I'm a closed-toed shoe, boots kind of guy, but just so dang hot. All right, off. Man, it's been a second. It's been a second here. Fuel on, choke on, and well, hopefully that's it. That was almost too easy. I mean, it's basically brand new, right? So why not? If anybody knows, it was pointed out to me last time, when we do this, then I just let go. I'm getting that sputtering, that popping, like it's getting too much fuel. But I couldn't get rid of it. So if you got an idea, let me know. Well, we should see if that the lube tank works, and we should cut something. Dear GoPro, you can bite my ass. 3 or 4 shots. The blinking lights on, nobody's home, nothing's going on. Can you believe that? But this is cinematic feature, beautiful content. Camera let me down. You know, I'm getting more and more distrustful of this GoPro 10 every day. Every day. You know what? I think it's still one of the channels that I really enjoy, and it's nowhere near the same kind of style of content it was when it started, but he's put in so much effort. The Wrangler Star channel. I like it. I watch the videos. I'm enjoying watching him build the log cabin right now. It's good stuff. Anyways, he showed his rig. Simple iPhone, simple mic, back to basics. The argument was, well, those GoPros are robust and rugged. Well, maybe I'll just be careful, because reliability has got to count for something. But anyway, it's not like you guys haven't seen me load the sawmill before. Well, unless you're a new viewer. I shouldn't say that. Welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, glad to see you. We're doing this in full safety gear. Oh, I almost lost my shoe. Flip-flop style. I'm gonna have to adjust that. This is all a remembering deal. It's like riding a bike, they say, though. Now that I'm all fired up about the camera. The mill's actually been sitting out for quite some time now, but I have been taking Fridays off construction. That photo I showed you earlier, the foundation. Fridays off to work on our other project here at home that we're up to, and just kind of regrouping. It's just required a lot of time, so I dedicated a day. But yesterday, that threw that schedule off. We finished up a shop. If you throw back way back, like to one of my very original videos, I think it's just a time lapse of putting trusses on and then a time lapse of putting walls up. It's at a buddy house, a friend of mine, and he called me back. He is fixing to, he's finally gonna get his final inspection done. The last thing on the list was a staircase and some railing. So I think it turned out nice. It's got a bit of a rustic look to it. He wanted to burn up the rest of the lumber that he had from the construction. That's how long he's had. He's had it for a few years now. It's taking up space. Us guys hoard everything, you know, like he's like me, his own Home Depot. But so we got that dialed in. There's a photo. Just let me know what you think. I think it turned out nice. And it was fun because he was there and he helped and we got to bullshit through the whole thing. And anyways, why am I sharing that with you? It's nice to do something that brings a smile to your face once in a while. And it definitely did. So let's finish today no different. Anything you think of that I'm forgetting? I hope not. Nothing of metal in the way. I don't think so. Let's just skin the top off. Well, it felt smooth. I mean, a new blade always feels smooth, but we're a little shaky still. Shouldn't be running all that rough. Look at this slab. Interesting. Little chatter at the start, eh? And then it smooths right out at the end. I think it was me pushing it. Once you get it going, we've got a little bit of chatter in the trailer. It's going duck, 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 duck. So maybe a couple stabilizers in the middle is going to be necessary this year. I did notice that last year a bit, but I mean, with the shop project, we were like just full tilt with milling it. I didn't really think about it. Everything turned out good, and you know, rough cut, you know, in a lot of circumstances. But I think I could get rid of some of that if I just cleaned it up a little bit, and it would be quite nice. Anyways, well, let's keep cutting. We'll take a little more. Just kind of felt nice to get her in motion. Simple things, eh? I might be rambling on, but just simple pleasure. Something simple, you know, is just cutting one slab off the mill. Like, I feel like I could go in now, have dinner. We got steaks marinating. It's a beautiful day. You know, it's a win, right? I feel like I'm winning. It smells good too. I'll give it that. I mean, I think it's a nice wood. People complain about cottonwood, but I don't want it to grow at my house, but I'll slay it in the sawmill. It's be really interesting to mill. Very wet. Like, this is wet to the touch. Like, it's got a ton of moisture in it. Ton. But that's pretty. That's 1.5 inch slab. I'd say that mill is cutting pretty deadly. I think too, it's got a little, from sitting out, the track was sitting out, it's got a little rust on it, and I'll lube the wheels up, and I'm getting a little bit of tuk, like it's working back and forth, but with the little use, she'll be good as new.
Would it get me?
Yeah, I don't want you to get a squash and a squeeze. You know that? You want even dad's gonna be careful because his poor toes aren't very protected. Ugh. I seen guys putting rollers on top of their steaks.
Yeah?
That also looks like a really good idea. Because then when you're doing this, instead of fighting a sharp edge, you got a roller on them. I thought, hot dog, that's a good idea. One thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
I feel so vulnerable in shorts. I'm not even sure I'm any cooler.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably cooler. But We almost got her. There we go.
It does about Timmy.
I don't even think we need we don't even need to worry about it rolling off. What size of log should we cut out of this?
2 inches, I guess.
A 2-inch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll see if we can rough her out somewhere in that neighborhood. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is going to be noisy. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Alrighty then. Whoa.
What? What, Dad?
You don't want to hit the blade. It does not like that. There you go. Pick up the folks watching at home. We don't want to step on them. And then we'll give her the lock off. It's got a really nice scale, which is accurate as well, which I like. Let's see if we can cut. I was hoping to cut a 12 by 12 out of it. Why? I don't know. All right, well, Simon says, if we do get a 12 by 12, it'll be a scabby one. It's a little narrow. Well, let's say we go 10 by 10. I shouldn't have nicked that last board off the other side, but anyways, we'll get 2 nice 1.5 thick boards, you know, to never do anything with. Maybe we can use them on the clubhouse. Should have adjusted that blade guide in a little bit. Quite a bit of chatter down here, but it's just because it is so much unsupported blade sticking out there that way she goes, right? What are we gonna do with the 10 by 10?
I guess we can build it with one of that clubhouse.
There you go. When in doubt and you don't know what to do with your lumber, you build a clubhouse. Well, friends, I think that's probably about all the time that a guy's gonna have. At this time of day, that old sun, she comes around dead set straight on the property and takes the wind out of your sails. But I did want to share one last thing with you. Another hobby, as I have mentioned, a man of many hobbies. Rarely do I finish one. Keeps life interesting, but my very, very good friend Lloyd came up and he had his archery bow with him. A recurve bow, traditional. And I'll tell you, he's a hell of a good shot. Anyways, he let me have a try with it. And I'll tell you, it's a 2-part system. 1, archery is naturally satisfying, I found. And 2, when you got a couple buddies that are into it, well, what do, fellas? We encourage each other to buy stuff. So that's what I did. But just through simple word of mouth, so he came up, that was a few weeks ago. I tried it out. Man, I caught the bug, eh? I had archery fever. It's all I could talk about. Well, I happened to talk about it in front of my father-in-law, and he goes, hey, I got a compound bow. You know, I got it through circumstances, ended up in my hands. And he said, you know, it's not his thing. He said, so, you know, would you like it? So we cut a deal. it is doing the trick for now. This is exactly how I got it, including missing half its handle. But it was freshly restrung. So he got it checked out that it was safe, good to go. It is a PSE, now this isn't a very alluring name, PSE Baby G-Force. It's got a 55-pound draw. We measured it, and luckily for me, the draw length worked out perfect. I'm about 29.5, 30-inch draw, and release trigger, and of course, like everyone dabbling into a new hobby, straight to the internet for the most economical option. These aren't the right spine for this bow. I didn't know that at the time. These are 500 spine arrows. They're 30 inches long, but I'll tell you what, I've rifled them into the dirt. I've fired them into wood. If you've seen the YouTube shorts, I have destroyed a couple of these arrows. A bunch of the fletching is coming off. I have 340 spines coming in the mail. And then ultimately, we're fixing that. My son and I are going to get new bows. And we'd like to get some recurves. Go traditional, because if you're watching, Lloyd's putting us to shame. He's doing it traditional, and he's damn good at it. So I'd like to get that and then upgrade to nothing fancy, you know, something budget, economical, but just something, you know, that at least has both its handles and is good to go. But for now, I'll tell you what, I'm having a good time with it. It's satisfying every time. I don't know why that is. I don't know what it does for you, but whatever it is doing for my brain is has been a tremendous help. If a guy finds he's under a bit of pressure, it's good to have something that's a bit of a release, you know? You don't have to think too much. And it's just satisfying to let him rip that. And we've been running all the way back of the log deck as far as I can get away from that bag in this before I'm gonna wander out in the trees, is 80 yards. And I'm telling you, if you had to guess, what do you think screwed up some of these Amazon arrows I got? Maybe Hail Marying them from 80 yards away, but I've gotten a bit of pattern down, and I can manage to actually hit it at a few different yards, at a few different ranges. Ooh, that was a good one. And just have a good time with it. But for now, we're standing at 20 yards, and that's probably where a guy should stay. Anyways, as always, appreciate you watching, sticking with the channel. Still having a great time making the videos, and in the coming weeks, we'll have more and more to share. Plus, when the weather turns like this, I mean, summer leads to adventure. So I don't know what order the adventures are gonna be in, but I just know that there's definitely gonna be another, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, I'd say the center of that bag is about cooked. I'm gonna have to build a new one.